It used to be that we went a long time between dispatches of new Jaguar items, however nowadays they're for all intents and purposes stumbling over each other. The F-Pace still feels like another expansion to the family, and the littler E-Pace is a few seconds ago achieving dealerships in the United States. Also, now the organization is as of now flaunting another hybrid. This one is unique, however. The I-Pace is Jaguar Land Rover's first unadulterated electric vehicle, and it will be on special here in the fall of this current year. The crude measurements absolutely appear to be sufficiently fundamental. The I-Pace has twin electric engines that permit all-wheel drive and give an aggregate framework yield of 394 pull and 512 pounds-to-foot of torque. That is not exactly Tesla matching but rather is sufficient for a guaranteed 4.5 seconds 0 to 60 mph time and an expected 240 miles of range. The I-Pace is evaluated for 300 miles of range on the European NED test, which has a tendency to be profoundly hopeful. We've contacted JLR for illumination. The 90.0 kWh lithium-particle battery pack can be charged to 80% limit in 40 minutes utilizing a 100 kW DC quick charger. The I-Pace utilizes an aluminum structure identified with those of JLR's other aluminum-bodied models, however with the packaging for the underfloor-mounted battery pack utilized as a basic part. Puma asserts that the I-Pace is its torsionally stiffest creation display yet. We haven't been given a weight figure, however Jaguar says the battery pack's area empowers static mass to be distributed precisely 50 hours 50 minutes between the front and back axles and that it accomplishes a focal point of gravity 5.1 inches lower than that of the F-Pace. In spite of the fact that it is lower, the I-Pace's 117.7-inch wheelbase and 184.3-inch general length are like those of the F-Pace, while the lodge is said to be as open as those in vehicles a size up. With no compelling reason to suit one of those antiquated gas motors, the base of the windshield has been pushed forward to boost lodge space, albeit, in the same way as other roads, the I-Pace adheres to the natural frame dialect of inside ignition autos. Behind the grille there's a radiator for the fluid coolant framework that, with stream controlled by a pump, manages the temperature of the battery pack. The grille additionally guides wind stream through the hood scoop to diminish drag, and dynamic vanes in the grille and front guard can further enhance streamlined features when cooling for the battery and atmosphere control framework isn't required. Trickiness likewise is helped by different points of interest, including power-sent entryway handles that stow consistently when the auto is progressing, like those fitted to the Range Rover Velar. The underfloor battery contains 432 pocket-composed cells and drives two indistinguishable 197 horsepower engines, one controlling the front pivot and one the back. This implies the I-Pace consolidates all-wheel drive footing with the capacity to run all the more proficiently in two-wheel drive when required. Suspension is by control arms at the front and a multi-link setup at the back. Air springs are standard, and they can consequently bring down the auto at roadway speeds by up to 0.4 inch to additionally decrease drag. Regenerative braking levels can be balanced, and in its most forceful mode, the I-Pace is asserted to have the capacity to accomplish a longitudinal braking power of up to 0.4 grams without utilizing its grinding brakes. Like the BMW i3 and the Nissan Leaf, the I-Pace will permit single-pedal driving, and it likewise will be conceivable to kill the vehicle's sit without moving drag so the auto will hold its position when seized, even on a grade. The lodge is clearly firmly identified with those of Jaguar's current model range, with a touchscreen interface sitting in the focal point of the dashboard and a computerized instrument bunch before the driver. Razelgroom is cited as a greatest of 35.0 inches. And the baggage compartment offers 23 cubic feet of limit with the back seats set up for 51 with them collapsed level. And also the customary choice of calfskin. Purchasers will have the capacity to indicate seats and trim produced using a reasonable, premium material option created with Danish material specialists Vajrat that consolidates fantastic microsuede into solid fleece mix. Not that the I-Pace doesn't likewise flag its distinction to inhabitants. Rather than a traditional gearshift selector there are D, N, R, and P catches on the rear between the seats. Over the apparatus choice catches are a littler touchscreen joined with rotational dials for atmosphere control and different frameworks. The infotainment setup is an improvement of JLR's built-up in-control framework called Touch Pro Duo, which we're advised will utilize calculations to distinguish singular driver inclinations and after that tailor the I-Pace's driving and inside settings as needs be. We're trusting these will work more intuitively than the to some degree confounding interface of the dealer, so on the off chance that you get a kick out of the chance to sit completely lean back with the seat radiators on full tuning into Blue Oyster Cult at full volume, the I-Pace will get that going. We're likewise informed that the auto will be perfect with Amazon Alexa, which means a good gadget running Jaguar's application can be posed inquiries like "Do I have enough range to get the opportunity to work?" The auto additionally is Jag's initially to join the capacity to get over-the-air updates to different frameworks. The most fundamental I-Pace S will undermine the least expensive form of the Tesla Model X, recommending a beginning figure of around $70,000 before SS motivators. Obviously, it will be conceivable to spend significantly more than that on alternatives, and the SE and HSE trims, and the underlying group of US models will be completely stacked, 1 year just, HSE-based first editions.